in the industry. So I was excited, proud of myself for getting the opportunity. Um, Unfortunately, some things happened, and I can't get into the details of exactly what that was, because it's already a legal issue right now. But the reason why I'm speaking.
Once upon a time, Will Smith was one of Hollywood's most adored stars. He headlined blockbuster after blockbuster, making him one of the defining leading men of the 2000s and 2010s. But lately, his once spotless reputation has taken some serious hits. He went from everyone's favorite Hollywood hero to the punchline of the internet. And yeah, part of that story involves his wife Jada going public about her relationships outside their marriage, turning Will into arguably Hollywood's most infamous cuckold. Then came the Oscar slap, when he popped Chris Rock over his wife's honor, and just like that, a lot of fans lost all respect. But if you thought that was the low point, nope, things just kept getting worse. Recently, one of Will Smith's former employees filed a lawsuit making some seriously disturbing claims. So the big question, could Will Smith be headed down a path like Diddy? By the end of this video, you're gonna see why that's a very real possibility. Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop weekly videos exposing the real story. Today, we're breaking down the latest Will Smith lawsuit. Let's jump right in. Will Smith's fall from grace as a...
Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk about something really important. Earlier this year, I was hired. I wanted to talk.
He called a huge artist in the industry.
At the time, this didn't really blow up. No one knew who Brian was talking about, and he didn't have a big following, so the video barely got any views. But everything changed just a few weeks later when Brian filed a lawsuit against Will Smith and his production company. At the start of the year, he officially sued Will and Treyball Studios, claiming sexual harassment, wrongful termination, and predatory behavior. According to the lawsuit, Will hired Brian for his 2025 tour back in 2024. Not long after, the claims say, Will started spending a suspicious amount of time alone with him. The suit alleges that Smith told Joseph they shared a special connection, unlike anyone else. At first, Brian thought it was flattering, but he soon realized there were darker intentions behind all the attention. This realization hit hard during one night on the tour. In March 2025, while in Las Vegas, Brian returned to his hotel room, booked by Will's team, and quickly noticed someone had been inside without permission. At first, he thought maybe it's a break-in, but there were no signs of forced entry. Earlier that day, his bag with his room key was allegedly lost by tour management, which could explain how someone got in. Inside the room, he found a collection of items that freaked him out: wipes, a beer bottle, a red backpack, an earring, hospital discharge paperwork for a stranger, and a bottle of HIV medications with another person's name. There was even a handwritten note reading, "Brian, I'll be back no later than 5:30, just us," with a heart drawn next to it. Brian interpreted this as a clear threat that someone planned to return and take advantage of him. After discovering all this, Brian reported the incident to hotel security, the local police non-emergency line, and Will's representatives. Hotel cameras showed only members of Will's management coming in and out, so no outside break-in. This meant it was someone from Will's team. According to the suit, when Brian confronted management about it, instead of
that I've done business with, and things with, during the latter years of our relationship, Will was not my friend. I was his friend. I could tell you what goes on the inside. Everybody else is just speculation. And then I saw acts that when I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Him and Dwayne Martin. Door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having sex with Will. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing, like murder. It was there.
The lawsuit claims Will allegedly tried to groom Brian from the moment he was hired, promising career advancement in exchange for compliance. This is a well-known rumor in Hollywood, young male artists being manipulated to advance. Brian believes this was a strategy used on him. He says if he had gone along, he could have climbed higher in the industry, similar to what happened to Rodney Jones, aka Little Rod, under Diddy. Little Rod claimed Diddy groomed him through isolation, partying, and manipulation to pressure him into intimate acts with other men. Lil Rod even alleged Diddy orchestrated sexual situations with other people and tried to normalize it, saying it was part of the industry. According to Brian, Will allegedly mirrored that playbook, making him feel special, building trust, then leaving the note in the room as a lure. The goal, the suit claims, was to break him in and prepare him for exploitation by Will himself. Brian refused, spoke out, and was fired. He's now suing for wrongful termination, grooming, and harassment, claiming the events left him with PTSD. Will's team responded with the usual statement: "Mr. Joseph's allegations concerning my client are false, baseless, and reckless. They are categorically denied, and will use all legal means available to address these claims and ensure the truth comes to light." And yep, this is the same canned response lawyers always give. Remember Diddy? He denied similar allegations from Cassie, only to pay her tens of millions shortly after a video surfaced. Beyond the lawsuit itself, some of these claims touch on Will's alleged interest in men, a story that's popped up before. In November 2023, Will's former personal assistant said in an interview with Tasha K that he witnessed Will and actor Dwayne.
I left because my wife wanted me to, and also because I wasn't making any money, because all the money flows, of course, to my father always has. I was also tired of the fraud and the deception, plus his deep involvement in personal use of drugs on himself and others, black magic.
When you say black magic, what are you talking about? I mean, some of the things that I read in the stack of material, it sounds just absolutely unbelievable. What are you talking about when you say this?
Well, the funny thing is that the actual truth is about as far out as Scientology itself. Really, the basis of Scientology, which is rather hidden and covered over, is the occult, the deep involvement with satanic powers. That he felt that he was deeply involved with a British black magician called Aleister Crowley, and through putting himself in deep hypnotic trances and the use of drugs on himself, he wanted to become the most powerful.
After his assistant went public with these allegations, a representative for Will Smith immediately called the story completely fabricated. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will both dismissed the claims as ridiculous and nonsense, suggesting the individual was just trying to shake them down for money. The Smiths said they plan to pursue legal action for defamation, but it doesn't look like that ever happened. Honestly, it's starting to feel like Will might be playing both sides, kind of like what we've seen with Diddy. The lawsuit paints a picture of Will grooming those who work for him and allegedly expecting something in return for career support. Honestly, none of this surprises me. If you know how Will first broke into Hollywood, these claims aren't far-fetched at all. Before the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will was already a successful rapper, but financially he was struggling. He spent money on luxury items, then dropped an album that flopped. Even though he made some money, he didn't pay his taxes and ended up owing the IRS. Will later explained, "We released our next album and it was like a flop. It was a tragedy. I had spent all my money and I didn't pay the IRS. In my mind, I wasn't trying to avoid taxes. I was just like, damn, they need their money. The IRS took all the stuff, so I was like broke, broke, broke." Being famous and broke is a brutal combo. People recognize you, but you're struggling financially at the same time. Will was famous, broke, and drowning in back taxes, a recipe for disaster. Everything changed one night when he met Benny Medina, the man behind the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who was trying to get the show greenlit. Will and Benny hit it off, and Benny invited him to Quincy Jones's birthday party, the man with the Hollywood power to make the show happen. That night was life-changing for Will. Rumor has it, though, that it came at a very dark price. According to industry whispers, when Benny introduced Will to Quincy, the party cleared out and Quincy had him audition for the Fresh Prince on the spot. Will got the role that night, but some claim he did way more than just audition. Allegedly, this was when he went through an initiation ritual, supposedly to please Quincy to secure the role. Rumors say Quincy Jones allegedly did similar things to Tupac, but that's a story for it. Adding to the dark vibe, Benny Medina has faced serious allegations in the past. One man pressed charges against him in 2004, but reportedly died under suspicious circumstances after pursuing them. Another man, actor Jason Dotley, claimed Medina assaulted him at a Hollywood mansion party in 2008. Dotley said Medina pushed him onto a bed and insisted he would be his, despite Dotley pleading he was married. Think about this. Benny is the same man who gave Will his second chance and essentially launched his Hollywood career when he was struggling. Looking at their relationship, many in the industry think Benny's interest in Will might have been more than professional. Considering Benny's history, it wouldn't be shocking if these rumors held some truth. It also sheds light on where Will might have learned certain behaviors. Will was allegedly groomed, and now some say he grooms others. That's just how Hollywood works sometimes. The dark side of the industry runs deep. Will is reportedly involved in it, and it may explain his connection to the Church of Scientology. While he claims he was never a member, there's tons of evidence suggesting otherwise. He's been seen at Scientology events, honored by the group, and even created schools teaching children the doctrines of Scientology. If you know the origins of the cult, you know it's rooted in some seriously dark teachings from occultist Aleister Crowley, whose philosophies shaped